sniper rifle. Sniper's up.
Should you not employ the scope? Obvious proficiency.
Bearded vlog, haven't done one of these for a long time, and from a different angle of the room, ladies and gentlemen. So you're probably wondering what the title means. Bearded vlog, YouTube is what I do. I do YouTube pretty much, and slash Cliffy B. Well, this is going to be in two parts, this bearded vlog, and I'm going to have a, I'm going to show you how I'm going to just split between the two. But let's get started. So YouTube is what I do. Now, the reason this came about, people, is I'm pretty sure last week, it's a bit of a shock. Well, it wasn't a shock to me, but unfortunately to a lot of us geeks in the world here, the great Stan Lee passed away. And it got me thinking, he helped me read, he gave me imagination with all his comics and so forth, and I'm not the only geek on the planet that's ever happened to. But it got me thinking, because one of his quotes was, here I was quite embarrassed that I was writing comic book and superheroes and seeing all my friends doing great things, and I felt quite childish and immature. He didn't realise till later on that actually he was quite proud of what he did, because entertainment is really good and a lot of people loved his work and so on and so on. And it got me thinking about doing the YouTube that I do, I see my friends do art. I see my friends do other things. I see a lot of my friends and family and loved ones create things and do stuff, even create little people, believe it or not. And here's me, Ybot, the good old noob, doing YouTube. And I don't feel bad about it. I don't feel ashamed, and I enjoy doing it. I am quite humble where I am. And it got me thinking about the state of YouTube at the moment and the wrong people we follow on YouTube. And I'm really sick of it. So, I mean, we follow the people like, just people just talk and tell stories and just fake and make up people and all this kind of stuff, and more importantly the Logan Paul bros. But we don't follow the good YouTubers, the YouTubers that have face diversity every day, the YouTubers that show their true talent and not sellouts, the YouTubers that are honest with their fan base and appreciate what they do. And there's only... Look, I'm going to link in the description, and I'll warn you about this person because I've only come across this small video about this streamer in England, and I wouldn't say small, I'm sure she's quite big. It's the titles of these videos are clips of the best bits of her from wonderful Anita, or the lovely Anita, and she has Tourette's. And it's not fake, it's full-on bad Tourette's, man. Her life must be hard. But when she's doing the stream, it's hard not to laugh at some of the stuff she says. But the important thing you got to look at is how well she handles the criticism, and how important and good her stuff is, and how vocal she is. And more importantly, just swears the worst stuff ever. And a lot of people are saying, oh, why is she banned on Twitch? It's because it's quite obvious she's got Tourette's. There's no doubt about it. It is a tick there. Things trigger it off, and she answers questions, and she plays Overwatch. So I'll show you, I'll link that video in the description, but people like that should be given more kudos, and we should follow them more. The other one is more close to home, Marcus Dibble. I've always said this, always say that. He has not been shy at all talking about the problems he's had with mental health and so forth, and he makes good content, entertaining content. He calls out other people. He's not a sellout. He doesn't fish for likes. He's a very good YouTuber. They're the YouTubers we should focus on and admire and like, not the T. Martins, not the syndicates, not those people. The professional players that are honest, the ones who, say they're doing a sponsored video, but they're the YouTubers we should do, and not follow the likes of the Kardashians, which pretty much don't bring much to society. The ones who take from society are the ones we shouldn't follow. We should follow the ones that give to society, and there are a lot of good YouTubers and people like Stan Lee that do. So pretty much, don't be embarrassed with what you're doing as long as you're giving rather than taking, and you're enjoying and not hurting anybody doing it in the process. Do not be ashamed and keep on what you're doing. So that's just a little spiel for me, and over on to the next bit.
Double down.
So not only did you see a little snippet there of Destiny 2 and Ybot with a sniper and the old smacko in the head, but I've changed to a very unironed shirt. How noobish can you get? This is Cliffy B. Now, I'm a big fan of Cliffy B. There's no doubt about it. If you're in the gaming industry or you're into knowing about gaming and you've never heard of Cliffy B, you've been hiding under a box. Younger generations, he's the tits. He's the shit. He really is good. And he may come across as rather arrogant, and he's admitted himself when it comes to the industry and what he's talking about, he is slightly more arrogant. But he never, ever, ever holds back, and that could be one of his biggest flaws. Now, I've spoken to Josh Who exactly because he tweeted out something not long ago. And look, in case you haven't noticed, the Gears of War franchise is one of his biggest successes. He worked on Unreal Tournament, say no more. That is a great first-person shooter. It was great on PC. Worked a lot with the Unreal Engine and brought a lot to gaming. There is no doubt about it. He has brought a lot to gaming. He got bored when he retired. He retired very young with a lot of money. And he has a lot of experience, and he started up Boss Keys. Now, the problem with Boss Keys was it's a very small studio, and according to him and a few other sources, they pretty much started making Lawbreakers before Overwatch, but Blizzard is massive. They're a massive company, and after that, they came out with Overwatch, and Lawbreakers didn't do that well. Coupled with the fact that he is quite sharp and witty and quite, the acid and the vitriol comes out very, very quickly, that he meddled in the fanboy business. And if you're smart on either end, you don't meddle in the fanboy business. So there is something, I don't know the full story, but I know it was taken out of context what he had to say about Xbox, and the fanboys went to town on him. It's funny because the Xbox fanboys went to town on him, but the PlayStation fanboys will never admit that Boss Keys, and particularly Lawbreakers, was unfortunately a failure. Great game, I enjoyed it. I think you needed more skill to play it than you did on Overwatch, but it died out. And then they tried to come back with, Radical Heights, a Royal Battle Royale game, didn't save him, and he had to, swallow some pride, which he did, and retire. Now, the thing was, somebody had to go at him about video games, and other people had to go at him about Boss Keys, and at the end of the day, he said, I'm not making video games anymore. And it's quite sad, and a lot of people are giving him a hard time about it. Some people said you haven't paid all your old staff, this, that, and severance. And it is quite disappointing that people think that way. And, you don't have to be honest on to work out that he's a hard worker, and he'd be good by the people which are good to him. Let's face it, he's been around for a long time, and he does overreact. Now, there's a tweet that Josh, who exactly shared the other day, and the tweet was something about how he said, I'm stunned that nobody agreed to, or I'm surprised that I'm a leftist, I swing to the left a bit because of Gears of War, the whole COG thing. I can't believe everybody missed it. And, then the first comment after that was somebody pretty much replied by saying, well, that's like saying you're a communist because the Lawbreakers didn't work, and I think you're going for the leftist popularity, yada, yada, yada. It was a funny comment. It was a bit of a low blow, too soon joke. And Cliffy B in capital letters replied, eat a dick. Now, that's where Cliffy B comes undone. But let's get a couple of things straight here, people. He's worked over too hard. He's one person that's worked himself into the ground. He's always spoken his mind where a lot of people haven't. And probably like Donald Trump, he shouldn't be on Twitter. It's simple as that. But I do follow him on Facebook. And he's a very different person there. You see the real Cliffy B. He hardly ever posts. Hardly ever posts, but when he does, you get a bit of an insight to what the guy's like. He's cooled down, he speaks the truth there, and away you go. And I follow him on Facebook, and he came out with a statement after what had been happening here and there, and I've saved it to my galleries because I'm such a noob. So let me go here. So here we go. So here's the stuff. Cliff Blezinski. Hi all. I know I don't post much in here, but with recent news that came off my tweet statement, thought I'd say some stuff. I really honestly feel over it making games. We're in a polarized world in which we all yell at each other through the glaze of glowing rectangles where we could be kind to one another, which is true. We're in a world where it's cool to watch other people play 1 to 3 games and actually play one yourself. That is absolutely true. We're in a world where you're measured by the number of likes, subscribers, and impressions you get. Spot on. We're in a world where expectations for product are so off the charts as is marketing budgets, that the game budgets are so crazy that the average consumer can't wrap their head around the cost of making said product. I'm honestly not bitter. I literally saw Mark Rain last night, had a hug and caught up, all good. My nephew did a Fortnite dance for him, of course, lol. That's the guy that supposedly everybody thought he didn't pay his full severance pay. I'm honestly not bitter. Literally saw Mark Rain last night giving a hug for Fortnite dance. Games were good to me, however, the thought of doing it again truly doesn't appeal to me. Listen to this. You haven't seen the 1,000-yard stares I've gotten from other developer friends who haven't been able to retire, where we have a pint and they're done their work. Okay? Done with their work. Sorry, a point where they're done with their work. Sorry, that's misreading by me and mistyping by him. The non-dysfunction no one knows that they're doing, and those who hit it big are just as talented as they are lucky and have good timing. Most have families, and instability of business terrifies them. Terrifies them. Hell, it scares me not having kids. Imagine fearing for your job and being encouraged to work 12-hour days, 6 days a week, just to provide for your family. Actually, a lot of people doing that, Cliffy, particularly in Australia. But yeah, I can get that, which is why my number one job now is focusing on my friends and family, including doggy, family, love you all. Now, I want to say a couple of things, though. It's a bit of a jarble. I didn't read it out too well. Sorry. Phone's very sensitive. I'm going to say a couple of things here. He worked very hard. He sacrificed a lot. And he is so spot on about the luck. Now, a lot of people say to me, oh, games aren't that expensive, or they don't understand. That's so true. So, to give you an idea, Epic had to resell their company to make Fortnite. They had to resell it to a Chinese company to put the money in to develop Fortnite. Smart move, but they weren't in debt. They weren't in trouble. They just had to do it. They had the rights to the Unreal Engine, but they still had to do it. Gives you a bit of an idea, peeps. Gives you a bit of an idea how hard it is to make video games. He is so right about Twitch streaming. I rather play than watch. I watch YouTube videos after I've played for so many hours. That's what gets me, and he's so right. And people are mean and nasty. Blunty did a great video on that, and he said we should be a lot nicer to Cliffy B, because a lot of people take him as an egomaniac. He can be a bit, but fuck all people can say they made a game like Gears of War. There's only a few people that can do that. Rockstar Games are up there, but there's not many people, and he's got a lot of respect in the industry. And he can be taken out of context. I'll never forget when IGN did a score on Bulletstorm and gave him a 7.2, I think, for the game when it launched. And he had no problems going up to their desk and telling them at a convention, saying what was with the 7.2. And he told them why it was good and why it was foul language, but it was a bit different. You guys like Duke Nukem, it was more to Bulletstorm than Duke Nukem, all that kind of stuff. But he didn't hold back. Now, apparently, according to Josh, we had a good little talk about it, and he agrees he's a bit out of context, and he just fires off like that. Just, there goes Cliffy B. He's doing a book. I would love to see autobiography to get a bit more of an idea in the mind of Cliffy Blezinski. But if you ever see this video, Cliff, thank you. Thank you so much for Gears of War and your constant views on video gaming here and there. And from a big fan, keep what you're doing. Don't change. Keep it real. You're good to those which are good to you. You give those which aren't a lot of shit. Don't change, man. Don't change. So that's the end of the bearded vlog. I do have a monitor which the camera is next to at the moment. You will not see me do a full webcam setup because I'm going to change my whole thing around the room. I've got my girlfriend staying for a few more days next week, and I'm just enjoying the beauty of the monitor. And I can just tell you this, if you want to do anything to improve your gaming, people, get a monitor, man. It's just opened up my world big time. So frag and tag, but good to those that own you. If you haven't subscribed, subscribe with notifications on. Follow me on Twitter, like my Facebook page. All the videos and things I've discussed will be in the description down below. Please comment and tell me your thoughts. And as always, RIP the great Stan Lee. Cliffy B, keep on going. I'll catch you mofos in the next video. Oh yeah.